You're listening to Shoe In, covering the ins and outs of all things footwear, from sneakers to heels, loafers to slippers, and every type of shoe in between. Brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear.
You know, Sandi Mines, when we started this podcast back in June of 2016, I believe it was, my goodness, I didn't know what we were going to talk about the first day we recorded. I literally had no idea. But what I've found over the 375 episodes we've done is that there's an unlimited amount of stories and conversations and insights that we can glean off of this industry that we both love. And so that's why I'm very excited to have our next guest on, because he, I think, probably has his own set of unlimited, you see where I'm going with this, unlimited stories to tell us about how he got in the industry and where his company is headed. And so with that, Sandi, why don't you introduce our guest today?
Great. I'm thrilled to be here with Pat Mooney from Footwear Unlimited. Welcome, Pat. Say hello to everyone.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thanks for having me, Sandi and Matt. Appreciate it.
Great. Before we get into having you share your shoe story, I'd like just to say it was great to spend a couple of days with you down in DC, you and some of your other teammates. And I'd love to hear a little bit about your feedback from the Executive Summit. Did you have a highlight or a special moment down in DC that you'd like to share?
Well, it was a spectacular event. But first of all, I have to stop for just a second. Matt, 375 different people were interviewed before you got anybody from our company. Holy cow. What do we got to do to get on the map?
That is my bad. That's my fault, Pat. I take that on. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, just teasing. I'm really happy to be here. I appreciate you guys including me. Thank you very much. And DC was fantastic. The FDRA meeting, it was my first one I've attended, and it was spectacular. Great people, great information, great speakers. And then, of course, just the everybody from the shoe industry just being there and getting a network and see people that you haven't seen in a long time, and say goodbye to some people that were stepping off your board. It was special.
Well said.
And, you know, you were asking me some of the things that were best. I'll tell you what, Constitution Hall, unbelievable. What a treat that was that night to do that. And then, you know, learning a little bit about smart brevity. I read the book that you gifted to us, and then I've gifted it to about a dozen people in our company as well. So we'll be practicing what you preach.
Cool. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that, Pat. That's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was great having you down there. Look to seeing you at many more future events. And I'd love to start out by asking you about your shoe story. I know you have an interesting way into the footwear market. So tell us a little bit about growing up in the footwear world.
Well, there's lots of good shoe stories. Mine started early. My father bought Footwear Unlimited in 1989. So as a kid, I did everything from working in the warehouse and, you know, unpacking trailers and loading trucks to repairing damaged shoes or bleeding on people's feet as a kid, to, you know, documenting our systems and creating our training manuals. Boy, that was an awful one. But overall, just amazing, great memories. I started very young, and I'm proud to say that, you know, we still have a lot of people that I worked with, 40 some odd years ago that are still here with our company. And they are like family, and we love each other, and it's just very special. And there, you know, it's when you talk about the shoe story, it's always the people that make it so special, I think, and that's why we love this industry.
Yeah, it is so true. The people do make a difference, but obviously, your father buying the company in '89 set you on a trajectory to be a part of the industry, probably till the end. But walk us through kind of the Footwear Unlimited customer base. You know, where do you sit in the segment of the industry? And where are you located physically? I think our listening audience would want to know that as well.
Yeah, we're located in St. Louis, Missouri. So right in the heart of the country. We think it's a great point of distribution. So we like it. You even see, you know, FedEx and some of those guys coming to Tennessee. And so there's advantages to that, we believe, where we can receive goods from either side of the country. But to tell just a little bit more about my shoe story before we just move on to our brands and our business, if you don't mind, it was it was just so special. I got to tell the story about my father, who has now kind of left the company. But when I joined in 1993, he had just purchased a brand called Bear Traps. And I got to tell this story because it's probably one of the better investments of all time. He paid $10,000 for a brand from a retailer. It was out of their portfolio that was no longer being used. And now 30 years later, we've realized over billions of dollars worth of retail sales.
Wow.
On a $10,000 investment. So the ROI was just fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
And it's, and I like to think that it's become maybe the best brand in its category. So it was just been a great story. And when you think back, again, talking about the people, you think back to when we first started, whether it was our first sample room in the garage of one of our Brazilian employees down in Nova Hamburgo, or just the times that I personally wouldn't leave Taichung or leave India until I actually had the inventory, the manufactured goods with me, because I knew I couldn't show back up to our retailers without those goods and have them looking the way we wanted. Or some of the best memories are when you have those breakthrough moments. And in Bear Traps, we did that with styles like the Garcia and the Rebecca. The Rebecca came out right when my daughter happened to be born. So I lobbied hard to name her Rebecca, but my wife wasn't having any of that.
I don't blame her. For some reason, I don't blame her.
Anyway, it's been a great shoe story. And so, like you said, we're located here in St. Louis, Missouri. We now have offices in 4 different countries around the world. We distribute, so we source from 4 different countries. We do totally vertical sourcing. And it's great. We try to use as few of 3PLs as we can. We really like to control the footwear process from design and manufacturing to distribution to retail as much as we can, 100% ourselves.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about the brands that you manage, if you don't mind sharing the brands that you're overseeing right now. And then also I'd love to hear if you're in the market for looking at new brands to acquire or launching anything new in the near future.
Oh, wow. Sometimes your appetite is bigger than what you can digest. So I have to be careful about any new acquisitions right now. During COVID, basically, that provided a lot of opportunity for us. We had been pretty fiscally responsible for a very long time, and we're quite blessed with the success of our Bear Traps brand. So that afforded us the opportunity when GBG declared bankruptcy to find some tremendous new names. And so as you're intimating, we picked up some great names, some great brand names in Spyder and Frye just over the last couple of years. And we are having a blast with those. It's just been a lot of fun, great new challenges, tremendous new growth opportunities. We just finished our executive planning meetings last week. And, we expect we will double our business by 2027. And those brand names also allow us to, they provide a lot of solutions for our company because they allow us to diversify our customer base, diversify our sourcing base, and enter into retail in a significant way.
I love those brands. The Bear Trap story is unbelievable. That 10 grand into billions in sales. There's a reason why, if that's your standard by how you judge your M&A activity, it's like when that new band puts out their best record first, and then the sophomore effort has to be a little bit more thoughtful. I can imagine you have some trepidation about acquiring new brands and having that appetite bigger than your stomach. But I will say, as a skier, I've worn Spyder all my life. And when you guys acquired the Spyder brand, and I've been in the showroom and seen the product, and now I wear it on the slopes, it's phenomenal. I'm a huge fan. And I know you're a skier as well. You had to be excited about acquiring such an iconic brand, at least on the apparel side, and being able to really expand out its footwear offerings.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I think all 3 brand names are some of the most well-known brand names in their category. Yeah. The brand recognition for all of those in their markets is tremendous. Spyder's got a tremendous opportunity. We look at that as mountain sport footwear. So obviously we're having a lot of success in the cold weather category first. But I'll tell you what, right now, our men's water sandals, they're kind of premium water sandals. They're for over $100 at retail, but they are selling terrifically. And so we think all kinds of performance-based technology-based footwear that is for the outdoor market, we think is fits well with that Spyder consumer who has been wearing the outerwear for years.
Well, so beyond that trend, Pat, are there other trends that you're tracking, and how are your customers responding to those trends? And where are Frye and maybe Spyder to a lesser extent, where are they meeting the customer at those trend lines? Where are you tracking those trends?
Yeah, it's for Frye, it's quite different, right? Frye is classic. Frye is heritage. This year, we're celebrating Frye's 160th year in footwear. So, I mean, that was born in Boston and has been made in America for a long time. And it's really about just special classics. That consumer, what they're looking for is something special, something different, really, truly handcrafted footwear. We make those in the United States. We make those in Mexico. So we follow trends, but really, truthfully, that brand recognition is so strong. And it was amazing. I just found out the other day, Frye ranks #1 in Google recognition in 12 different categories, including ladies' leather footwear, men's leather footwear, leather shoes. I mean, just some of the biggest, broadest categories there is, and the best categories there is. And that's where the name recognition is. And I'll tell you what, you just can't buy that. It takes 160 years to earn that. And so we're having a tremendous time with those brands. And it's great the way we have our brands positioned, and that Bear Traps is those kind of classics in a price point that's kind of a moderate type price point. And then we have Spyder and Frye that are premium type price points, but very different points of distribution too. One is obviously very much in the outdoor market, and one is just in the classic department stores and the better independents around the country.
That's right. And I know we see you a lot in the pop-up in New York City in June, over June Market Week, June 5th through 9th this year. Are you bringing all of your brands to the pop-up? What's in store for June Market? Tell us what you're looking forward to in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it's interesting. We are absolutely bringing all of our brands, and we're excited. You know, every show is a big show. When you only get to see develop new lines every couple times a year, and you recreate 35 to 65% of your total offering every 6 months, every show is critical. So we're super excited. We'll definitely have all our brands at the pop-up. You know, it used to be that we weren't sure if we needed to bring our Spyder brand there because they would go to the outdoor shows and different shows, but actually there's such a high interest. We absolutely bring them, and there's just a great crossover to where those brands work for the department stores and the specialty stores that show up at that market too. So we're bringing all the brands, and we're super excited about that. Our Bear Traps brand is really moving the design forward. The way the customer is educated today, even at that moderate price point, you know, she wants to make sure that when she spends $50 on a sandal, that she not only feels great in it, but she gets lots of compliments. So we have to move that design forward. And it seems like every time that we take 2 steps forward, the customer responds and the sales grow exponentially. So huge show for Bear Traps. Very excited about that. And with Spyder, we're excited because what we realize is the consumer is looking for, from Spyder footwear anyway, they're looking for technology. They're looking for advancements in footwear. And so we're creating some new we've made some relationships with new branded partners like Michelin to develop amazing outsoles and amazing technology in our footwear because, you know, that customer isn't necessarily looking for $150 shoe on sale. They're looking for the best shoe that they can buy for $150. And so it's those technological differences that I think are going to set that brand apart. And then Frye, like I said, Frye's 160 years. And so we're doing a lot of special things for Frye. We'd love you to come by. In fact, we have a special collection of footwear that every pair is going to be hand numbered. There's only 160 going to be made of each one of these pairs of footwear, special for our 160th anniversary. And it's going to be in select retailers at premium price points and premium material. So very excited to get to the show.
When does that drop, Pat, the anniversary Frye set?
That'll be in fall, I believe, mostly in September, October. Okay. In fact, they're not all going to drop at the same time. We're going to drop it throughout, different months, different weeks, so we can have new product constantly dropping on our site and with our premium retailers.
That's really smart. And the Michelin play is really smart. I think it's so cool how we all know kind of how the sneakers were evolved in the early part of the 20th century when the tire companies were looking for other applications and started rolling out this thing called sneakers, particularly in the Northeast. And now it comes full circle on the innovation side that Michelin is making these outsoles to drive more innovation and value to Spyder footwear. I think that's very cool. Let me ask you about you. We were talking a lot about the fanny market, but you're someone who obviously, you also mentioned outdoor retailer. In this post-COVID environment where the shows themselves have been maybe decentralized to an effect, how are you approaching picking which shows to exhibit at, where to have a presence? What's your strategy around the engagement with the shows?
Well, we follow our customers. That's the bottom line. We follow our customers, and our customers are choosing New York over and over again. Lots of regional shows, especially for our bear traps and, for our Spyder and Frye brands. But then Atlanta, seems to be super important for everybody. So that's become almost like a national show. I was scrutinizing some of our expense there recently because we had our salespeople from all over the country going to Atlanta. And they're like, no, you don't understand. All my customers from California, from Las Vegas, from Arizona, they're going to the Atlanta show now. And so that's become basically a national show for us. So we go where our customers go. And quite frankly, we will meet them anywhere. So any show where there's that kind of attendance, that's where we'll be.
That makes a lot of sense. I saw Laura just a few weeks ago. She talked about how the show's already sold out. So I think you're right. Atlanta is really emerging to be that national show. When at a time we were all in Vegas, right? Twice a year or
right.
New York.
Yeah, that's right.
So you talked about the 160th anniversary on the Frye side. Are there other initiatives or products in the coming year or two that you want to make sure listeners are aware of or that you're very excited to drop? What's on the horizon?
Well, with Frye, it's just more special types of footwear. So the more unique we can make them, that's what the customer's responding to. I think it's really about, it goes back to, you probably hear this from the sneaker guys as well. It's personalization. So when we can reduce our runs and make things more special for people, whether it's through, the look of the shoe or the way it's been handmade, or whether it's a very small run, or through technology, our bear traps technology and some of our fit technologies that we've developed with podiatrists, so that they not only feel good, but they improve the health of your feet, and not only the health of your feet, but the alignment of your whole body. So all of a sudden, when you get the right kind of footwear, when you buy Bear Traps Posture Plus footwear, you have a better alignment between your hips and then up through your back too. So I think there has to be value added. It can't be just that the footwear is cute anymore. It's got to be unique, and then it's got to fit just amazing too.
That's great. So you're saying that you're going to where your customers are. And I know you go to Atlanta and New York and OR and all these places. So how often are you in the air and on the road? Are you, it seems like I see you, I saw you in DC, I see you in New York. I see you everywhere, and it's great because you're really face to face with your customers. You're seeing what's on people's feet. You're hearing what people like and don't like, and you're looking out for new trends. So how often are you out and about and on the road?
Yeah, and you got to be in the stores too, right? I mean, it was so great when we were in DC to have the opportunity to just shop some different stores. So, we don't learn that much behind a desk. We're blessed in that we do work in a centralized location here in St. Louis, and we are an in-person workforce. But while we're in person, we also have to be in person with our customers, to your point. And so we have to be out and about. So yeah, we travel regularly. It was kind of nice during COVID when we were locked down just a little bit and you could hunker down. But we only did that for 6 weeks. 6 weeks is how long we kind of shut our office down. After that, we were back in the office, and it's nice to be able to travel again to get out to see our customers. So, we're still roadies. We like getting out. We like being out and about.
Yeah. I mean, you started out this conversation, Pat, talking about being stuck in Taichung in India, trying to get access to bringing inventory back. I think one of the cool things about growing up in the industry, as I've learned from my friends like yourself and Sandi, who's also grown up in the industry in a footwear family, is that you learn the ropes of every aspect of the business. You talked about being in the warehouse and on the floor and in the back end, and you've seen every aspect of the business. Now you're the fearless leader. And I think those leaders who've seen it all and done it all within the life of a footwear company are our best leaders, to be honest with you, because it sounds like you know just about every aspect of your business.
Yeah, I've been blessed to experience lots of different parts of the business. But you know what? The truth is, Matt, you have an amazing team there. It's the team that does all the work, right? I mean, we come up with the ideas and we have some thoughts to it. And hopefully we can add a little bit of our experience and maybe a little bit of wisdom or some ideas. But it's the team that you build that really makes you successful or not. And our team, we're blessed, is very much like a family. And so we fight like a family. But then we pull together like a family when we have to, too. And then we celebrate like a family when we have our wins. So that's really who we are and why we're successful.
That's really cool. And I think that's well said. And I think it's a great note to end on, because the footwear industry is a family as well. And so, Pat, thank you for joining us. I'm really sorry it took 375 episodes to get on. I think between Cliff Sifford and David Kahn, they have about 30 of those episodes just between the two of them. So I hope that you'll come on. I hope it won't be another 375 episodes before you come on and share more successes with Footwear Unlimited.
I'd love to come back. Thanks for having me, Matt. Thank you, Sandi.
Yeah, no problem. Folks, this has been another edition of the Shoe In Show. We're super excited that you listen in on these conversations that we thoroughly enjoy having. As you've heard from this conversation with Pat, folks start in the trenches and they work their way up and they travel the world. But at the end of the day, it's all about people. It's all about having a great team. We have a great team at FDRA. If you're not a member, hit us a note, info@fdra.org. We'd love for you to be a part of our team. And if you are a member, we're super grateful for your support. We ask you to come back and listen to the next podcast as it drops Monday of next week. Until the next time, Shoe In Show is out.
Shoe In has been brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear. For information about FDRA, visit fdra.org.